Welcome to ArchRivals Football Season 4. Sponsored by Raz Energy, Steiner Sports, and Super Draft Pro. Here is your starting lineup for Season 4. Number 20, Darnell, the Playmaker, Sallins. Number 96, Alex, the Bear Man, Al-Kazzaz. And number 69, Ricky, the Master of Mayhem, Litwinkowich. Kickoff is starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? I know it's been some weeks because I've been busy. My co-host, who's here right now, has been busy. Mr. Al-Kazzaz, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
We've been busy, haven't we?
Yeah, indeed we have.
We've been busy doing other stuff, so you haven't heard it from us. But what took place over the weekend and Monday said we have to do a show. So as I sit here and continue to share the show out, because a lot of people didn't know we were going to be live tonight. First off, it will be, well, by the way, we will be live tomorrow because we got to talk college.
You see the little guy behind me? He's going to be part of the show too.
Like I said, we're going to be live tomorrow because one of us got some bragging to do after what took place New Year's Eve. But today we're going to focus on the NFL. And when we focus on the NFL, we got to start off what took place Monday night. I didn't watch Monday night. My partner has watched Monday night, so I'm going to give him the floor to let everybody know what took place. If he was living on the rock.
Well, I can honestly say I would probably say the scariest thing ever. I mean, earlier this show we talked about what happened with Tua, but this was on a whole different level because he gets up and then just collapsed like that. I mean, how would you, like, if you were on the gridiron and a teammate just gets up and just falls on the ground like that? And then they administer CPR for 10 minutes, and then then take him to the hospital. The game stopped, and then eventually declared, called off. I mean, the whole story. I mean, even Joe Burrow went to the Buffalo Bills, locker room. All the great sportsmanship is overwhelming. The social media reactions. This was just a freaking. From a frenzy on the gridiron to frenzy within the news media, social media, this thing spread like wildfire, like that.
So for those of you who don't know, this is Damar Hamlin. He was the guy that most people are outpouring to. They are donating to his charity, which is like at $5 million, from what they said on First Take earlier today. Is like at $5 million already, and his goal was actually $250,000. Is it $5 million? That shows you the outpour from the entire country right now of what they witnessed on Monday Night Football, and a very important game, by the way. A very important game. And which leads me to my next slide here, because somebody in the media world decided to do this. One Skip Bayless. Those of you who are watching, but it's a Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we appreciate it. If you are watching on Facebook and you do see stars, go ahead, donate stars, because we are capable of getting stars now. Steve Wallman's in the chat.
How you doing, Steven?
I'll get to my runs in a bit because I have a rant with the NFL, and my rent will be a part of it in some type of way. Just know that. Share this out to people. Let people in the chat. We can get started. We can get paid for what we do through Facebook.
To say that Skip Bayless got a hell of a backlash, suffered a bit of a backlash. I mean, there's an understatement right there. And from what I understand, Shannon Sharpe even refused to actually even bother showing up at work the very next morning.
But hold on. So he tweeted this out at 6:30 p.m. Well, I think that's back in California, so that would have been like 9:30 on my time because Monday Night Football don't start until like Monday Night Football didn't start until 8:30. He tweeted this out at 6:30 Pacific time. 7 hours later, we're talking 3 in the morning. This is what he was saying. That's almost a whole shift of work before this tweet comes out. Now, Shannon Sharpe didn't show up to work Tuesday. He showed up today, and that didn't go over well between the two.
Well, you know there's still heat because correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they recently get into a legitimate heated argument on national television because of an argument over Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Some people are saying that Skip did in fact disrespect Shannon. Now I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't actually see it.
Oh, I seen it.
So
it was definitely disrespect.
So Skip basically did in fact disrespect Mr. Sharpe.
Oh, he definitely disrespected Shannon Sharpe. I was surprised Shannon Sharpe was still on the show after that point. So
some people tell me they're surprised that Shannon Sharpe didn't lose his mind. Well, here's one thing. Sharpe is one of the greatest tight ends from his generation. Shannon Sharpe is a tough guy. He knows he's not going to let Skip go deep in his head like that to make him react in such a way. I mean, Shannon's a tough guy. And we all know that Skip just wants the attention.
When I tell you this, if Shannon didn't have a sound mind, he would have popped the brakes off Skip without question. Nope. You can see it in his face. You can see it in his face. But I'm not gonna get into that. Cole Johnson, Brian Snow, I was on their show when that happened, and we talked about that. So y'all can go on there. And if Brian Snow or Cole Johnson watching, if people want to see it, you can send them the link so they can see that because me and Cole talked about that. Nevertheless, this tweet right here from Skip Bayless. The timing of it, insensitive, not needed, careless, whatever you want to do, it wasn't the perfect time to do it. And before I get into the details, because honestly, I'm going to tell you this, he didn't say nothing wrong, but I'm going to let my partners say why he didn't enjoy seeing that tweet and why everybody else didn't enjoy seeing that tweet.
The timing, obviously, but it's very unfortunate that something like that has to happen in football, whether it's the preseason, whether it's week 1, week 6, whatever. When we see something dangerous like that, I mean, all of a sudden for me, all of a sudden, I didn't give a damn about the rest of the season. The only thing on everybody's mind was the well-being of none other than Damar Hamlin. The timing obviously is wrong, but when you've been in the business as long as Mr. Bayless has, wouldn't you know that all of a sudden when something like that happens, you would know that what kind of tweet to post and not post? Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know, but you tell me. I mean, sometimes it's clearly obvious that it's not. You shouldn't post something, but like that. You should know that maybe from instinct, but
it was insensitive.
I'm not the only one who was furious. Numerous people were furious, and I'm talking people who work in the media. I mean, Des Bryant was obviously pissed off. I'd imagine Stephen A. Smith was pissed off. I mean, Stephen A. Smith and Skip, they know. They had their moments back when they were working together from, I think, 2004 to 2016. I mean, Skip got a major backlash out of it. I mean, our boy, Mr. Dre Day. I mean, you think I was upset about it? You should have seen you should have seen his reaction.
And I'm pretty sure he's watching because he's at work. Me and him talk. Because he knows that I was gonna do this show today.
Shout out to Dre.
I was gonna do the show, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's upset. Like I said, the timing was insensitive. He wasn't paying attention to what was going on, or he probably was paying attention to what was going on, but he was looking into the future of the NFL and not what was happening on the field at the moment in time. But like I said, and those of you, maybe now people. By the way, let me say this: we send our prayers and thoughts with Hamlin. Okay, I don't pray about two times before him already. Okay, because that's a situation you just don't want to see. I didn't see it. I was at work. I didn't see it. I didn't even go try to watch because I can tell by the way social media was acting. Might be something I don't want to see at the moment. Okay.
I was actually surprised you called me while you were at work.
And I did call you when I was at work.
Well, you are the manager. I guess you can do whatever the hell you want, right?
And no, in a way, yeah. But as long as it's important stuff, in which this is important because we are part of the media, somewhat. You know what we do.
Well, there was some bit of updates today. They said that there was a bit of improvement. He's still in ICU, and they mentioned something about vitals, supposedly improving. And I think like the oxygen or whatever. I mean, something like that. I mean,
there's a bit of progress. He doesn't need 100% of them. He's at down to 50 now.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, so that's good to know. But we gotta. Did you actually see how the tackle, what happened, before he got up, how he was that play? Did you see that play?
Nope, I did not go back and watch it, and I'm not planning on.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, one of my buddies who I work with Third Down Thursdays, Coach Bruce. Shout out to Coach. I mean, he was even pleading. I mean, literally put out a tweet. He mentioned Elon Musk on it to make sure that all videos of that particular play are taken down, and I agree with that. Now. Sometimes, I mean, I would understand you want to see it because you want to know exactly what happened, and I'll be honest, I did see it, and I'm glad if they do take it down. I'm glad. It's scary. I mean, I couldn't even sleep. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating. I mean, I did eventually go to sleep, but I had a hard time going to sleep. I even went on YouTube and posted a YouTube short video, sending all my thoughts and prayers to the guy and his family. I mean, this is scary.
It is very scary, and I don't blame anybody.
This is why when people see sports as just pure entertainment, like this and that, it's all for play, it's all for fun. Whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, hockey, American football, pro wrestling. I mean, you gotta understand these lives. I mean, athletes put their lives on the line.
And
might not look like in some sports, but
hockey, you can actually fight. You can actually fight in hockey. You can throw down your gloves and let's go mano to mano.
Hockey's. And in hockey, it's part of the sport. I mean, if Mr. Braverman was here, he would fully confirm the fact that fighting is part of the sport. And I'm sure Mr. Wallman would do the same.
I think somebody is joining because I did send to some people to come in. Oh, it is the snowman himself, Mr. Brian Snow. How you doing, sir?
I am not well. I am not well. What happened this morning on my program sent me into a tailspin. And for the most part, I've been depressed all day.
Yeah, I'll watch, and I know you having some things, but
seeing this, knowing I know friends that have been through cardiac arrest, and I've been through it myself. I just want to tell y'all it ain't fun. I've been told many times jokingly that it's okay to not be okay. Well, I am not okay.
You have some days. You gone through a lot. You have told me your story. And you have asked me on several occasions to fill in for you on your show because of what you've been going through.
I'm sorry.
So,
I gotta step
so
up. I'm sorry.
no problem.
Because like I said, I've been depressed all day. I've been crying most of the day, and
You know, you will pull through, and you have pulled through. Matter of fact, you beat cancer. Let's get. And I'm letting my audience know that this man here, Brian Snow, has beaten cancer. So he's a cancer survivor first and foremost. You'll pull through, and I'm pretty sure because I know you took what happened Monday night very hard.
yeah.
And a lot of people around the world took this very hard because this is something that even former players, they never seen this happen on a football field.
No.
And you have seen some
Scary.
gruesome career-ending injuries in your
I've
time.
seen in 28 years of covering football at all levels, I've seen some gruesome injuries. Gruesome. I've never seen anything like what happened Monday night in Cincinnati. Ever.
So this is unprecedented territory, not only for the NFL as a business, but the players, the organizations, the coaches, the teams, and even the fans.
This is a first for the NFL, and there were a lot of complaints about why won't they make a decision about whether to postpone the game or cancel the game. In 4 words, this is a first.
This is a first.
The protocol has not been established, or had not been established until Monday night.
And I will get into why this is a complicated situation for the NFL.
Very much so. Very much so.
This is why I was saying before you showed up, sir, that if there's any footage of the play on any forms of social media, they all have to be taken down. Because I warn people, like some people, like we even asked me, should I see it? I'm like, no, it's scary. You don't
I didn't have
want
to see it. I can tell by the reaction on social media. Like, nah, this might be something I not want to go back and see.
I mean, I saw it. I mean, like I said, I could even fall asleep.
I've seen it once before in another sport in March of 1990 with Hank Gathers from Loyola Marymount. Went up for a dunk, completed the dunk, and then a few seconds later he collapsed. That's only part of the reason it's hit me so hard. I've seen it in my family going through cardiac arrest. Hell, that's part of the reason I lost my granddad because of a stroke, and he went into cardiac arrest.
That's the same with my grandfather.
I saw it live. I have seen it live. I've been through it. I nearly went through it a second time when I had blood clots in my lungs. Almost 2 summers ago.
Yeah, this is very unprecedented.
I'm going to step out and get myself together, and then I'll come back.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
Brian Snow, ladies and gentlemen, I be on his show. I'm regularly on his show on Tuesdays, but I've been joining his show Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Almost like the fourth member of the crew. But this situation is unprecedented, and the NFL didn't know what to do. Didn't nobody what to do. The officials didn't know. Because Zach Taylor did his press conference today. He said the officials came to him and said, yo, your players need to really process what's going on. That right there tells you nobody's ever seen this before. If the officials is telling you that, yo, y'all need to really process what's going on here.
I mean, do you notice the fact that the stadium was absolutely silent? Like, completely silent.
I believe you. And the thing was, when listening to Zach Taylor doing his press conference saying what happened, it was Sean McDermott, the head coach for the Buffalo Bills, that said, yo, I can't coach right now. There's no way I can coach. And that's when the process where everybody was on social media going off on the NFL, like, what's taking this so long? That's long. There was no precedent for this. You are literally trying to process what's going on. Is he all right? Was this that? Coach McDermott got the ball rolling. Telling that I can't coach.
Did they say? I think Mr. Snow mentioned that the NFL did not have a protocol for this kind of thing.
No, because this never happened on the field.
Okay, I mean, I understand that, but I think it's a bit of common sense to always have a protocol because anything could happen. Anything could happen.
You can say that, but you can't prepare for everything.
We can't predict it. It's unpredictable, but
you can't predict it. You can't prepare for it. You can't prepare for everything. You can try to cross all your T's and dot all your I's, but you're gonna miss something. It's just the way that the world is. You're gonna miss something.
No, yeah.
And,
I mean, yeah,
and
you're not wrong.
They already have ambulance already ready for gruesome injuries like torn ACL, broken leg, stuff like that. And the thing is, what most people fail to realize is they're not giving credit to both team medical staff because they rushed on the phone. A lot of reports that I read and heard, medical staff on both sides rushed at the moment he dropped.
Yeah,
they rushed at the moment he dropped.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, I should mention this. I think according to his uncle or as a family source, he said that his heart had to be restarted not once but twice.
At the hospital too.
Once on the field and then once in the hospital in the ICU. But you know what the scariest thing for me now? A lot of people don't know this, but I actually have a fear of hospitals. Like I'm like not just I'm just scared of hospitals. Like I am legitimately fully scared of hospitals. I mean, I'm gonna make this story short. I delivered a pizza once to the hospital. Had to go to a place that scared me. I actually started crying. Yeah, me, the big bear man. I got it affected me so bad. I was crying because I hate hospitals. But when I saw that these teammates, I mean, I think there was a story about Diggs, Stephon Diggs. I don't know if this is an exaggeration, but he tried to get in. At first, the officer wouldn't let him in. He had to actually tell the officer, "My teammate's in there. I need to see him." For me, despite my fear, if this happened to somebody I cared about, I'm like, I don't give a damn. If I get scared, whatever, I'm gonna be there on my friend's side. I don't care. I don't care if I have nightmares the rest of my life. I don't care. When it comes to friendship and camaraderie, you're there for your teammate. You support them.
Exactly. Now,
I mean, I think during that time, the adrenaline would be so high, I probably wouldn't even be scared. I'd be like, to hell with. I mean, I would just knock the fear out of the way right now, and keep it in a submission hold and just keep it away.
Because right now that like I said, I wanted to make sure we get what we need to get to first and foremost is the health and safety of Mr. Hamlin, who is still in ICU, but he's on the right path. He's on the right path for right now, which is a good sign. But let me get back to this tweet from Skip. Because remember I said he wasn't wrong, though, right?
Right.
When this game was going to be played, Buffalo was trying to win to keep the lead over Kansas City, who beat the Denver Broncos Sunday, correct?
Yeah.
At the same time, though, Cincinnati Bengals are trying to clinch the AFC North because Baltimore messed around and lost to Pittsburgh. Correct?
It's Baltimore for you. But yeah.
This is what Skip is actually saying here. Now that people are somewhat trying to see what's going on, now they're getting some positive news. Now they can open their minds a bit more. Okay. What do you do with this game? Buffalo trying to get the number 1 seed. They want the AFC playoffs to go through Orchard Park, New York, and not have to travel to Kansas City, Missouri, and Arrowhead Stadium like they did last year. And we all know exactly what happened last year at Arrowhead.
Right.
Cincinnati is trying to lock up the North Division and possibly get the 2nd seed. But guess what? They would have had victories over Kansas City and Buffalo in the same season. So how big was this? This game was magnificently big for the playoff seedings. Okay? This is what Skip was referring to. Like I said, the timing was not the best whatsoever. You don't do this while the man is down on the field receiving CPR. This is when you don't say this. This is when you don't say it. The man's on the field getting CPR. Literally, the whole stadium is quiet, as you said. Players from both sides got tears in their eyes because they don't know what the hell is going on.
You know, I believe Mick Foley said that this particular incident reminded him of something that happened in 1999. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Well, for all you wrestling fans out there, I believe I forgot the name of the pay-per-view, but it involved the accident with Owen Hart.
When I want to say King of the Ring.
Yep, he was supposed to make the way his entrance. I mean, there's an episode on it on Dark Side of the Ring.
I want to say King of the Ring. I might be wrong on that one, but I want to say King of the Ring.
No, I don't think it was, no.
He was coming down from the Raptors.
Yeah, I don't think it was King of the Ring. I think it was Over the Edge or something like that. It's a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view that went defunct like probably the next year.
It went one of the big pay-per-views. I know that much. But at the time, this is what you don't send this treat. This is why everybody was so hot on Skip Bayless, because everybody's in shock. Okay, everybody's in shock. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, what the hell's going on? Is this all right? What is going on here? Oh, they're bringing the ambulance." Because let's be for real. Anytime you see the ambulance being brought to the field, you know it's not good. You know it's not good.
I mean, let's be honest. You talk about how scared those players were. I mean, those players didn't even know if he was alive.
So now that we cleared this up, go back to the tweet. What do you do for the NFL? What do you do if you're the NFL?
I can honestly say
this game had a lot writing on it.
If this means delaying the playoffs for at least 2 weeks or hell 4 weeks, then I mean, part of me says then it's fine, so be it. But it's going to make things more difficult because that would mean you have to delay the Super Bowl. But
no,
I'm sure the NFL can figure it out.
From what I heard, most people want the NFL to get rid of that bye week before the Super Bowl. Push the playoffs back a week. Allow these two teams to get back together. Finish it out on the field. If the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals can do that,
because the players have to pull the. I mean, if they can collect themselves. I mean, you can't rush them. I mean, I can't say I know what these players are feeling. I've never experienced it. I understand it, but I can't say I know what it's like. You know what I mean?
Buffalo's getting ready for Week 18. Cincinnati's getting ready for Week 18, which we'll get to when we come back from our commercial break. But most people have suggested push the playoffs back a week. That extra week that might be before the Super Bowl, you make that the championship week. You let Cincinnati and Buffalo finish it out the next week. So not this week, you let them finish it out next week. So you have what you need to figure it out. NFL has a hard job to do right now. Do not look for answers right away because you're not going to get them. There's too many factors in here for the NFL to just come out and make a decision, especially around this week. There's too much going on for them to make a decision right now. But most people suggested take away that bye week before the Super Bowl, put Championship Sunday that week, and allow the two teams finish it off essentially a week 19, basically.
I mean, right now I have no better suggestions, so I mean that might be that might be it.
Okay, this is what they are planning on. So we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into the key games for Week 18. Then you're not gonna talk about all the games of Week 18. We're gonna get to the key games of Week 18.
Paint Train Pipe Bomb Productions and the Playmakers blog are now both partnered with Fanatics. Fanatics is now your new home for all fan merchandise from the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, MLS, NASCAR, WWE, international soccer leagues, and golf. Check out the links below for everyday deals on fanatics.com.
All right, welcome back to ArchRivals Football with the Playmaker and the Bearman. As you can see here on your screen, Week 18. Starting on Saturday, Kansas City is at Las Vegas. As it stands right now, Kansas City has the number 1 seed because they played that extra game, and obviously what we talked about already with the whole situation between Buffalo and Cincinnati. If Kansas City wins, correct, and they don't make up the Cincinnati Buffalo game, that means Kansas City gets home field advantage again. Okay. Las Vegas is already eliminated from playoff contention. They're going to stick with Jarrett Stidham, who played a phenomenal game against the San Francisco 49ers. Against one of the top defenses in the league, he played a phenomenal game. But Kansas City, if they win, they pretty much have home field advantage throughout the playoffs there, man.
You know, the whole thing with the Raiders surrounding their quarterback, definitely something to talk about in the future.
Definitely something to talk about in the future, but
I mean, Las Vegas is out of the playoffs. Kansas City, still fighting for something. I mean, obviously, Kansas City's going to win it. But I got to ask, could Patrick Mahomes play the entire game?
That's another thing to think about.
I mean, if by halftime, if Kansas City has a huge lead, then I would imagine no. But I mean, I got to live with the fact I picked Las Vegas to win this division, and that didn't go well.
Saturday night, however, TAA Bank Field, Jacksonville, Florida, where the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars get together for the AFC South crown. This game right here, I would dive into deeper because this is part of the reason why I have a problem with the NFL.
So the winner of this match wins the division?
The winner of this game wins the division, and they will be hosting Wild Card Weekend between either the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, or the Los Angeles Chargers.
Well, we all know. I think they announced Ryan Tannehill won't be playing. I forgot the other quarterback's name.
Joshua Dobbs is getting the starting nod for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, he made his debut against Dallas and actually played pretty good. I mean, let's be honest. Dallas won because first-time quarterback and Derrick Henry didn't play. I mean, let's be honest. But that's another story for another time.
Yeah, it is because he actually tried to get him the game anyway.
I'll be honest. I got Jacksonville.
But look here. This game, don't get it wrong. I can tell you right now, the city is lit right now. They can't wait.
You live in Jacksonville.
They can't wait for Saturday night because they feel a chant. They feel a title coming to them. This city is pumping, ready for Saturday night.
They won the division in 2017, didn't they?
That was a wild card. No, they did win the division. They had to.
And they actually made it to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, and they gave it away to New England. So, but I'm gonna come back to this game right here. I have a problem with. I'll tell you why later. Then we get to Sunday. You have the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 1 p.m. Can Pittsburgh win? They keep their hosts alive with some help, and I'm gonna get to the help because the other games are on here.
For Pittsburgh, it's more than a playoff spot. It's a particular streak that Mr. Mike Tomlin has.
And if Pittsburgh does beat Cleveland, it will be another season where Mike Tomlin did not have a losing season as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is never as of right now.
Cleveland's out of the playoffs, right?
Cleveland's out of the playoffs.
Well, Cleveland's got nothing to lose, but Pittsburgh does. But I mean, Pittsburgh can't lose this one. I just don't see it. If they do, then it'll be shocking, but based on these two major things that are on the line, Pittsburgh's like, yeah, no more room, no effing up.
And then one of us said that Mike Tomlin was not going to have a losing season despite what everybody else thought.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying that I know the future, but
on Monday, I feel like you're going to be in a mood to where you're not going to say, I hate to say I told you so, because you're not going to feel like you hate it. You're definitely going to be in that mood, I told you so.
But I just said that, I don't see Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin having a losing season. I mean,
that particular "I told you so" stunt. That's something that our boy, our friend, the Master of Mayhem, thoroughly enjoys doing. But he hasn't been in that mood this season.
See, and he should. And if Pittsburgh do win, he needs to be on the next show because he needs to know that he has to come out here and say that I was right. While the whole world was trying to sit here and say the Pittsburgh says Mike Tomlin was something their first losing season, I was not a believer in that.
Okay, well, vindicate me on the fact that I did say it could be possible. It may happen. I didn't agree or disagree. I basically said, okay, well, basically, I said to everybody that was getting on him, like, guys, Playmaker did what's part of the job. He made a freaking judgment call. You have to do it. So at least vindicate me on that. I didn't go against you.
You're gonna get your vindication tomorrow.
I acknowledge you did in fact say that. So yeah, I will acknowledge you.
You're gonna get all the types of vindication tomorrow. Good gracious. And I gotta get on a certain coach up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, too.
All these Cowboy fans are getting to me because I said that Dallas was gonna have a horrible season. I'm like, okay, win, make it to the NFC Championship, then I'll shut my mouth.
Oh Lord.
Come on.
Oh, Cowboy fans, we had to take these weeks off because I showed.
Dak Prescott.
Had people looking at me like, how did you pick them to win that game? I just felt it.
Against Tennessee?
Nope. I just
against
felt
Philadelphia?
It. Against Jacksonville, I said I just felt it. I just felt like
you saw what they did.
I just felt like they was gonna win it.
Yeah.
There you go. I picked them. They won it.
Yeah. And then yeah. You told them so. But whatever I have to say about Dak, we'll wait till we get to that game.
But one of the reasons why Pittsburgh has to win against them is because this game, one of the games is this one right here. The Buffalo Bills are hosting the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots have to win. If they lose, they open the door for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dolphins. New England has to win or they're done. The problem
has the league confirmed that this game is actually on pace to take place as planned?
Yeah, week 18. They have done no changes to week 18.
Okay.
So you getting a Buffalo Bills team who's going through what they're going through, and I don't know if New England want to walk in there and I don't know if New England can walk in there and come out with a victory. Because you might be facing a very dangerous Buffalo team right now after what they don't been through. Okay. So that's one help Pittsburgh needs. The other help is, and they might actually get, is the New York Jets traveling down to South Beach to take on the Miami Dolphins. Tua has not cleared concussion protocol as of yet, and it's Wednesday night.
Speaking of the New York Jets, it seems like last week against Seattle, that game Seattle versus New York, I picked Seattle. Didn't you pick the Jets?
I did pick the Jets.
I'm not going to give you a hard time about it, but I did. It was just like I said. Me picking Seattle. What did I do that comes with the territory, Playmaker? What kind of call did I make?
You ain't believing the Jets were gonna win that game anyway. If I know you anyway, you had no faith in the Jets whatsoever. If I know you like I know you.
Well, still Seattle have been not been doing well. So I took a major risk. Made a judgment call.
And you'll
have to forgive the whole thing with the cat. If he doesn't get his attention, he's gonna go nuts. So gotta keep the kitty calm.
Matt White returned and did not look good in Seattle whatsoever, and they have been eliminated.
The whole thing with the Jets, the the whole thing with Zach Wilson, isn't there that story that recently his mom went off on the Jets or something like that?
Man, I don't care what the mom did. I can care less. Zach Wilson is not a quarterback.
Well, the reason I bring it up, you know why? The reason I bring it up is because people ask me if I was in that position, what would my mom do? And you know what my answer is? My mom would tell me to get my damn act together. She would basically do what any other loving mother does. She would tell me, "Stop your crying, get your damn act together." Like that.
The Jets, y'all got way too much TV time because the real focus is the Miami offense. Because Tua hasn't cleared concussion protocol. Lucky enough for Teddy Bridgewater, he didn't break a finger on his hand, but he won't be cleared. So we're going to Shane Thompson for the Miami Dolphins at quarterback. And if the Dolphins can't beat the Jets, their season is done.
So the Jets, the Dolphins. So basically, is this another situation? The winner of this match wins a playoff spot, or possibly has a playoff spot.
No, right now New England controls the last spot.
Okay.
New
so this is a game of pride.
New England's wins is all over with.
So this is a game of pride. It's just a game of pride then.
But seeing how New England got to go to Buffalo and a lot of people don't feel comfortable for New England, that means the door's open for Miami. But they down to their third string quarterback. And if Miami can't beat the Jets, that means Pittsburgh gets in if they beat Cleveland. This is where we at. It's simple. New England beats Buffalo, they're in. If New England loses, Miami beats the Jets, they're in. But if both New England and Miami loses and Pittsburgh beats Cleveland, Pittsburgh is in the playoffs. And you notice all these games at 1 o'clock, right? You notice it, right? Look. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. All games at 1 o'clock, right?
You know what the best part is? There's a Twin Peaks actually opened right by where I live.
Good. Keep that in mind. Look at all them 3 games that's critical to each other is at 1 o'clock, okay? Let's go to 4 o'clock, shall we? The Philadelphia Eagles are hosting the New York Giants.
Well. So any updates on Mr. Hurts?
No updates yet, but if Eagles win, they clinch the East and the number 1 seed.
And if they lose,
I do have a Giants update for you though. That has been circling around.
What's that?
Saquon Barkley and Dan Jones most likely will be sitting out this game.
Sitting out?
Mm-hmm.
Will the Giants have the Giants been officially eliminated or not yet?
No, the Giants clinched when they won last week. They clinched. They are the 6th seed. They ain't going up. They ain't going down.
So 3 NFC seems to go in the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay, so you know what? Then it makes sense. But I would figure the Giants would love nothing more than to deny the number 1 seed or the NFC. Well, it's like this. Either way, the Giants, they're not going to like, whether it's Philadelphia or Dallas winning the division, they're not going to like it. So here it is. So, yeah, like you said, if Philadelphia wins, they clinch 2 things. But if they lose and Dallas beats Washington, Dallas wins the division.
Which is the next spot. In the nation's capital, Cowboys at Commanders. And guess what? There will be no Taylor Heineke at quarterback. There will be no Carson Wentz at quarterback. Sam Howard from the University of North Carolina is starting for the Commanders.
I wouldn't be surprised if he torches the Cowboys defense. Let me just say, it is absolute criminal the way they have treated Taylor Heineke. Absolute criminal. They should be ashamed of themselves. I said it from the beginning. The fact that they bring in Carson Wentz and then he's immediately depicted as the starter, I'm like, how dare they? How dare they? I mean, seriously, what does Taylor Heineke have to do to earn the respect from the Washington from the Washington coaching staff or the front office?
So,
speaking of quarterback,
Wentz gets hurt. You bring in Taylor Heineke and you get off to a hard start. Then you started struggling down the stretch and you didn't have a good game against the 49ers, which Bearman, who does have a good game against the 49ers except for Jaden Stillman, what he did last week. Outside of last week, who does have a good game against the 49ers?
Nobody.
Exactly. Unless your name is Patrick Mahomes.
Taylor Heineke overall has done well for this organization. He deserves respect.
You put Carson Wentz to go against Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson beat you. Remember, Deshaun Watson ain't played an NFL game in almost 900 days.
Do you think
and he was suspended for the first 11 games of the season.
Do you believe Ron Rivera is going to be fired after on the Black what do they call it, the Black Monday or whatever?
Black Monday. That is a good question. That is a very good question.
I mean, based on a couple of press conferences. I mean, even our boy Dre has been like, now he hasn't spoken to me exactly about this, but I'm sure he would have said, if had I been covering that press conference, I would have been like, well, that's definitely it's like, I don't even know if I went to a football conference or I went to a comedy show, but speaking for Dallas, I mean, Prescott 14 interceptions this season. That's a career high, y'all. That is a career high.
I'm just saying. Now, you see here, both AFC East matchups is at 425, okay? You see this, right? Which brings me to the final game of the season. The foes and tundras of Lambeau Field. Sunday Night Football, NBC. The Detroit Lions facing all against the Green Bay Packers.
And the Packers just destroyed the Vikings. And didn't the Vikings clinch their division, the NFC North?
They've been clinched that.
They did?
They clinched that like weeks ago.
Huh. Yeah, so as some people say, now the real Minnesota Vikings can now stand up, right? Because now all of a sudden they don't look good.
But Barry, this is the final game of the season. The NFL chose this game to be their final game of the season.
Yeah, because all Green Bay has to do is win, and they're in the playoffs.
Here's the but see, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. Because when we come back, remember I told you I had a bone to pick with the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
It features this game. So let's take a break and we come back. Oh, I have a bone to pick with the NFL.
Pain Train Pipe Bomb Productions is now partnered with NFLShop.com. NFLShop.com, which is brought to you by Fanatics, brings you amazing team items like game day jerseys, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, team banners, and more. Check out the link below for great, amazing everyday deals on NFLShop.com.
All right, welcome back to ArchRivals Football, ladies and gentlemen. As you see on your screen, you see the Saturday night game on ESPN between the Titans and the Jaguars, and you see the Sunday night game. The final game the Lions and the Packers. Why are you messing with stuff?
See this guy? Because he's manipulative. Look at that.
He ain't paying nobody no attention.
Yeah, well, you know.
Now you're probably asking yourself, why are these the two games that somebody has a problem with, which is me? Now, Bearman, correct me if I'm wrong, correct? Ever since the NFL decided to do, we're going to properly schedule the final week of the season as needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they not say that the final game of the regular season, which will be on Sunday Night Football, will be the game that has the most on the line? Correct?
Yeah, they did say that.
So this is what they said, correct?
Yeah, so I'm vindicating you.
So
it's like being in court right now. You're exonerated from. You're exonerated.
What does that say for? What is Monday Night Football about? What is that Saturday night Monday Night Football special about between the Jaguars and the Titans?
Playoff spots on the line.
AFC division crown is on the line.
Well, for one, I mean the other one, it's the division.
Sunday Night Football. What does that say at the bottom? What did I put at the bottom on the Sunday Night Football?
Packers win, they're in.
Notice it just says nothing about Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jaguar-Titans game is literally for the division. Which game has more?
Mm-hmm. The Green Bay and Detroit game, honestly. Because people are more concerned about the NFC North than they are with the AFC South.
No, they're not. You know why? Because you know what the NFL did? I'm going to tell you what the NFL did. And I wish I had my boy Ray Lynn on here because he was a Detroit Lions.
Well, if you're going to say they manipulated us.
They actually did. They really did.
I'm not surprised. That's the NFL for you.
They gave a finger to the Detroit Lions fans. They gave a finger to the Seattle Seahawks fans. They gave fingers to the Titans and the Jaguars fans. Did I not just say earlier that the NFL said the game that has the most on the line is the game that's going to be the final game of the season, correct?
He said that, yes.
What game is more important than the Jaguars and the Titans for the AFC South title? Because the winner, don't matter who, the winner of that game wins. Guess what? You know why did I put Packers win their in? Because that's the truth. You know why? Because Detroit needs help. And guess who they need help from? Take a guess who they need help from. They need help from my Los Angeles Rams. And guess what we playing at?
San Francisco?
We're playing in Seattle.
Oh, in Seattle.
So guess what this is? If Seattle wins, Detroit's done. And guess what? Seattle plays at 425. Hours before Detroit plays on the field, they know their season's already over with. Is that fair to Detroit? Is that fair to their fan base and to them players and them coaches? Is that fair that they go into the final game of the season already knowing their season done with? Is that fair to them?
No.
Now, is it fair to Seattle fans? Because guess what? They need Detroit to beat Green Bay for them to get in. How does Detroit feel knowing they season over, but if they beat Green Bay, the team that they needed to lose gets in? And how's that feel for Seattle fans?
I mean, in Detroit's case, if they can pull it off the win, and if they say, well, we're not going to the playoffs, but if you can make sure that Green Bay doesn't go either, that's a bit of bragging rights for Detroit.
But didn't we just say that the game that has the most on the line is the game that's supposed to be on Sunday Night Football?
Yes.
It's the game that doesn't affect nobody else. That's the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only game that doesn't affect nobody is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans for the AFC South Division. But people let the NFL manipulate them because it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Green Bay, it's Lambeau Field. But Detroit gonna go into the game already knowing they can't do a damn thing. You know why? Because they ain't no way in the hell my Los Angeles Rams is finna travel to the Pacific Northwest and beat the Seattle Seahawks. And then check this out. And if the Rams do win, if they do win, you know what's gonna happen? Do you know what's gonna happen?
Seattle's out automatically?
No, do you know what's gonna happen if the Rams pull off this upset?
What?
Conspiracy. NFL gonna be in for it. How the hell does the Seahawks lose to the Rams at home? The NFL did something to get the Seahawks to lose that game. Because everybody knows the Rams is not winning that damn game.
Conspiracy to deliberately let Green Bay into the playoffs.
Because they know. Seattle gonna beat the Rams. This means what is Detroit playing for? On Sunday Night Football. What is Detroit playing for? They already know they eliminated. So they get a consolation prize. Hey, man, y'all most likely going to be eliminated, but we're going to put y'all on Sunday Night Football because y'all going to Green Bay.
Definitely feel of a conspiracy theory. We should ask Jesse the Body Ventura to look into it.
Like, for real. Like, you're telling me. And I know for a fact that I've been listening, and Snowman is back with us. I know for a fact the NFL said the last game of the season is the game that has the most on the line and it doesn't affect anybody else. There's only one game that doesn't affect nobody else, and that's Jacksonville and Tennessee for the AFC South. Detroit gonna be already eliminated because the Rams ain't winning in Seattle. If I'm dead, if I really damn Kimball, I will really sit here and say, hey, we out. So guess what? Jared
You know what, Playmaker?
Swift, you quit. I'll say to everybody.
For 3 hours and 3 hours only, I will be a fan of the Rams, and I have two very selfish reasons. One, I hate Aaron Rodgers, and two, I'm picking the Lions to pull it off.
I get it. But guess what? Who's really going to pick the Rams to beat Seattle? Seattle.
You are.
Nobody.
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing
I'm not doing it.
Wait.
Well, the injury list. I mean, how big's the injury list now?
Just a moment. Is it the
this is a
fact that
book.
you're not doing it, or is it the fact that you can't do it, or both?
Both.
Good answer.
Did y'all not see how Geno Smith played against the Jets?
Oh, I saw him playing against his former team. Does that answer your question?
That's part of it. Guess what? Remember his opening quote after his big win over the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I ain't right back yet.
I'm liking
he still hasn't written back.
I'm liking this news setup. How you guys are streaming the show. In fact, I may pull the trigger and do the same for Snowman in the morning. Listen, I'm going to throw something out there that I said 9 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago. And you, Playmaker, and I mean this playfully, laughed at me at this possibility. And you know where I'm going.
I mean, to each his own. We do it to each other anyway, so.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But there was a strong possibility that the NFC, instead of going through Philadelphia, could, and I underline the word could, go through Santa Clara. As crazy as that sounds.
I don't see how not. Y'all should destroy the Cardinals.
Must be the 11-game winning streak.
We're going to obliterate the Cardinals in 3 quarters. It's going to be so bad. They're going to.
But the problem is the way Newsman's flowing around. Brian Daboll might not play Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, so I'm like, well, that's Philly. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know. And crazier things have happened. That's why I said could.
Yeah, could. Still could.
The
way this season's been, anything can happen.
I know. I still don't care because we're going to go to Philadelphia and smack them around. Yeah. Should that be the NFC Championship? But Playmaker, you owe me a receipt.
For what?
You were one of the main ones that laughed at me.
And one about the 49ers.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't, because I was the first one to come in. I was the first one to come in and say, y'all must be crazy. You must have forgot. I was the first one to say, y'all must be out your mind. This is the San Francisco 49ers. This is the team I do not want to see in a playoff. Remember when you asked me, let's do it again? I was like, no, I don't want to do it again. I do not want to do that again.
And was this after the game in Los Angeles or the game in Santa Clara?
It was the game before Santa Clara.
The game in Santa Clara. Okay. So this is week 4.
Yes.
This is week 4. Okay.
Remember, I said y'all better watch out because San Fran coming.
What I love the most about you, Playmaker, is the way you tell the truth, the way you guys tell the truth here on ArchRivals. I love that. But Playmaker has me laughing when I listen to Ramley talk. And
excuse me.
Week 18 last year, I just remember you saying through gritted teeth, and I can just imagine you through gritted teeth saying, Deebo Samuel got us again.
I remember that.
So if Deebo Samuel got you last year, what say you this year?
He got me this year.
Well, just a moment. That my question wasn't about Deebo. My question was about Mr. McCaffrey.
Man, he got me too. God damn. We got him first, and he came back and got us. In the same building, by the way, too.
In the same building. Because y'all beat down McCaffrey, and then 2 weeks later, he does that to the Rams.
See, but my thing is this. Getting back to my rant.
Yes,
I know what the NFL said, and Bearman confirmed it for me. They said the last game of the season is the game that has the most on the line, and it doesn't affect any other team in the NFL.
Which should be the AFC South Championship.
And fans, they are so glued, and they don't pay attention to what the NFL says. They are happy. Oh, we get to see Aaron Rodgers. We get to see Lambeau Field. Detroit has this good. But y'all forgot, Detroit will be already eliminated.
Wait a minute. I'm not watching that game Sunday night. I'm going to take my wife's attitude and go to bed early.
Now, Snowman, I said this. I'm gonna see you. I say the NFL gave the finger to the Detroit Lions fan base, the Jaguars fan base, the Titans fan base, and the Seahawks fan base.
Yes to all four. You hit the grand slam. Yes to all four.
Because you telling me Detroit has to pull for the Rams to beat Seattle, and then Seattle got to pull for Detroit to beat Green Bay. But their game is already done hours beforehand.
No, this is Roger Goodell we're talking about. He has no sense whatsoever about what's important. And I mean that in a couple of ways that I'll discuss tomorrow. But he especially doesn't have a handle on what's important when it comes to what game has the most effect on the playoff standings. He definitely doesn't have a handle on that.
Because if I'm Dan Campbell, Goff sit, Swift sit, Williams sit, Amar St. Brown sit.
Yeah.
All y'all sit.
I'm sitting everybody.
Y'all sit. We're done.
Since it's not going to be, since it's not going to affect anything that's going on, because Detroit's fate will well be decided, like you said. You can list it as a game time decision, and then when you find out, who did what, that's when you pull everybody.
And I told Bearman this. I want your thoughts on it. I said if the Rams, because he asked me what if the Rams win. I said if the Rams going to Seattle and win that game, you know what's gonna happen. Everybody gonna look at the NFL like, y'all up to something. Because there's no way in the hell the Rams should be. There's no way in hell the Rams should win that game.
Conspiracy.
There's no way.
I've seen crazier stuff in 40 years.
I know you have. I've seen it too.
Of covering football, I've seen crazier stuff in 40 years. All right, I'll go ahead and put this question out there, gentlemen. Does it seem like this week 18 is scripted?
What?
I would probably say it's definitely manipulated and somewhat fixed.
I'll give you that.
And don't be surprised that we've been manipulated. How long has the NFL been doing this kind of stuff?
Years.
I'm surprised that conspiracy theorist expert Mr. Jesse the Body Ventura himself hasn't looked into it. I mean, maybe he hasn't because he doesn't want to bother. It's the NFL. There's probably more important conspiracy theories to worry about. But.
And you know what? And here's my thing. People like to say NFL is king, right?
People like saying that. I don't.
If the NFL is king, why not put the Jaguars and Titans on Sunday Night Football?
Because they're afraid of the numbers.
But NFL is king.
I'll answer that question.
NFL is king, though.
I'll answer that question. They're afraid of the numbers. They're afraid it's not going to be a draw when a lot of people are wanting to watch a division title game.
Hold on.
And I'll give you the exact game that they're comparing this to, that they actually put on Sunday night. Go back to 2009 when the St. Louis Rams and the Seattle Seahawks decided the NFC West. The trick was Seattle wound up winning that game, and they finished what? 7-9.
Yeah. The first losing team to make the playoffs, I believe.
First losing team to not only make the playoffs, but win the division and make the playoffs.
Now he got me again. God damn
it. What?
He got me again. God damn it. I ain't know what game you talking about, and I watched that damn game too.
And you had no choice but to watch it in its entirety. It was Sunday night. It was the last game of the year. It was Sunday Night Football.
I watched that game too. And I'm saying like,
when did Seattle be in the first round that year?
New Orleans.
They beat New Orleans.
And shocked the world.
Well, that was 2010. No, we're talking about 2009.
No, trust me, that was the 2009 season because nobody believed Seattle was going to win that game against the Rams. They did, and here come in New Orleans because New Orleans was favorite, and they come beastquake mode. That's when he did that long behind run, shocked the whole world.
Well, remember, the Saints won the Super Bowl in 2009, so it must have been the 2010 season.
You're right. You're right. It was 2010. It was a year later. It was a year later.
Marshawn Lynch, 67-yard run
to seal the game.
I remember that game.
I was on the road when that happened.
I was pissed.
And I was on the road when that playoff game happened. I sat and watched the Seahawks-Rams game on my couch in my apartment, and I'm thinking, why the hell am I watching this? I kept dozing off. This is how bad it was. And I know you're a Rams fan, Playmaker, but I kept dozing off.
Yeah, because you had two defenses going at each other. There wasn't no scoring.
Right.
Until the third quarter
Until
happened.
the third quarter. Until the third.
And matter of fact, I know the goddamn quarterback too. God damn it. We got beat by Charlie Whitehurst.
Charlie White. Mm-hmm.
We got beat by Charlie Whitehurst.
Charlie Whitehurst.
Because Matt Hasselbeck was injured.
Yeah.
But that's my point. If NFL King, y'all should. Hold on. Matter of fact, who played on Christmas?
Do we really care?
Wait, that was the most watched game on Christmas Day, and you had the NBA games too.
I'll repeat my question about both. Do we really care?
So you telling me?
I mean, all I can say is my Mavericks won on Christmas Day.
Yeah, Snowman, thank you, and thank you for that. We were happy for that.
Your Mavericks won, and my Warriors won on Christmas Day. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only two things. Those are the only two games I paid attention to on Christmas Day.
Everybody watched my Rams beat the brakes off the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and then the next day, the Broncos fired their head coach.
Wait a minute. You said everybody watched the Rams beat the brakes off the Broncos.
They watched us beat the brakes off the Broncos.
I didn't. Not me.
I have
three. I didn't see it.
Hey, Playmaker, I have 3 words for you. I was asleep.
No, and Snowman, you know the crazy thing is, that game was at 4:30, right?
Yes,
guess what NBA game was at 5? It was Boston and Milwaukee. And more people watched the Rams beat the brakes off the Broncos than the top 2 teams in the East.
Listen, I watched nothing. I saw the third quarter when the Mavericks obliterated the Lakers and put up 51 points. Now, listen, my wife is not an NBA fan. She's made that clear. She's old school like I am. But she peeked over my shoulder as I was watching the game, and she says, "How much are the Lakers winning by?" I looked at her and I said, "Babe, you ain't going to believe this." She says, "What?" "I want you to read that third quarter score in the line score." And she said, "Holy 51 points?" That was the only quarter I watched in that game and the only quarter I needed to see.
I was like, let me look at these numbers. I'm pretty sure more people was watching the NBA. That's their hell no.
Hell no. Hell no.
He was watching football. And somehow the 2 teams that are not going to the playoffs is the team that everybody wanted to see for whatever reason on Christmas. And by the way, we had kids. We had kids watching this game too.
Unfortunately. My niece even tried to get me to watch that game.
I mean,
my 10-year-old niece came up to me and said, "Why aren't you watching football, Uncle?" I looked at her and I said, "Because the game in question is boring."
I mean, if the NFL is king and they proved it on Christmas, you don't need to put Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football.
Aaron Rodgers needs to go. Can I say that aloud?
Yeah, I don't care. Aaron Rodgers can be Aaron Rodgers.
I say amen to that, sir. You say Aaron Rodgers has to go. Normally, I would say he should have gone years ago, but I'm just like, well.
He should have gone after he won his Super Bowl because that was the only one he was going to get.
So now we're going to sit here and we're going to know Green Bay's going to win Sunday night. I'm just going to tell you that because if I'm Dan Campbell, I ain't playing nobody. My season over. Trust me, the NFL.
Yeah, and then don't be surprised if they simply waltz in around. I mean, we all know my Cowboys are going to lose in the first round. I mean, I do.
So you're gonna have Green Bay, and you know what the funny thing is? And I'm gonna come on Snowman and I'm gonna laugh my ass off because you know the funny thing's gonna happen.
What's that?
Green Bay gonna have to go to Santa Clara,
and we gonna
for a wild card game,
and we gonna whoop their ass again.
And I'm gonna come on Snowman in the morning. I'm gonna laugh my ass off because guess what? Because y'all said F you to full franchise NFL, and y'all should pay for it.
Yep. If Green Bay got to come to us, we're just gonna whoop their ass again. Like
and I'm gonna love every minute of it.
Please.
And I shouldn't even be cheering for the 49ers because I'm a Rams fan. But
right.
I'll be cheering the hell out of the 49ers.
Sometimes you got to put the personal stuff aside.
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna wear my one of the Christmas present my wife got me was a hat, a 49ers hat, like a lawnmower style hat. Whoever comes to us, be it wild card round or if we miraculously get the week off and not play until the division round, I'm wearing my 49ers garb all week. Because it doesn't matter who we're going to play. It doesn't matter who we're going to face. We get at least one playoff game. If we win Sunday, we get at least one playoff game at home, be it wild card or divisional. I want to see Green Bay because everybody's talking ish. Oh, you don't want to see Green Bay. We do.
That's the one team Aaron Rodgers can't beat in the playoffs.
The reason I want to see Green Bay, because I want to see Nick Bosa stomp a mud hole in his ass and walk it dry.
Oh, like hell yeah.
Like Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago, San Fran owns Aaron Rodgers.
You a wrestling fan, Mr. Snow?
I am indeed.
No, you should check out my pro wrestling podcast, Ringside Chaos.
I will. I will.
Well, speaking of all this, let me ask you, would it make sense if I told you I am a Cowboy fan, but I'm not part of Cowboys Nation? Would it make sense if I told you that?
Hell yeah, it would make sense. Hell yeah.
The reason why is this. Here's the reason why. What's the annoying thing that Cowboy fans say before the season starts?
Like the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I never say that.
Pittsburgh Steeler fans,
and it irritates me because look, I'm a sports writer. I say it like it is. Like I've gotten death threats from Cowboy fans. You know what? At the end of the day, that's because I'm good at my job. So that's the way I see it.
No, man, you know how bad it is. You know how bad it is. I have to tell him which games, like, dude, your Cowboys are gonna win. You're good. You're good. Your Cowboys gonna win this one. All right, chill. That's how bad it is. I gotta tell him to back off the Cowboys.
But see, this young man is not a part of Cowboys Nation, which is very one, opinionated. 2, walking around with blue/rose-colored glasses all the time. And 3, and I've made this comparison on Snowman in the Morning, Cowboy fans remind me of Chicago Cub fans.
You talking to
or maybe New York Yankee fans.
I lived in Chicago for many, many moons. I am a South Sider to my heart. I've been a White Sox fan all my life. I got ridiculed the hell out of.
Way to go, Sammy!
Exactly. I've been. See, why'd you have to bring Chris Bass in my head now? Damn it!
I had to do it.
But it's good though. See, like I said, these Cowboy fans remind me of Cub fans. Every year is their year. They think they're going to win the championship before even setting foot on the field. Matter of fact, I'm going to make this comparison. There are four fan bases, one of an individual that I can't stand. Cowboys Nation, Cubdom, shucks.
Laker Nation?
Thank you. That was the one.
No, it's not Lakers Nation.
I assume Lakers Nation's one of them.
Okay, but there's a combination to that. Lakers Nation / Bronzexuals.
I am a true Laker hater.
Wait a minute.
I go back to Shaq
and Kobe. I know you do. And I don't include you in that group. Because you actually, how does my dad put it? Talk like you have some sense.
Well, when you cheer for the teams that I cheer for, all you got is sense.
Thank you. When you cheer for the teams that I cheer for, all you have is sense too.
You gotta remember, I went through the Jeff Fisher era.
Say again.
I went through the Jeff Fisher era.
Oh dear Lord!
I had no choice but to have sense.
No wonder you're bald. I get it, but it's like these nations of fans, quote unquote, just don't get it.
And Packer fans making their way up that chart too, man.
Yeah. And it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid that they think that way. And
they are entitled.
I brought up a group of people I should not have because this is a football show. Yeah, thank you for clearing your throat because I was going to do the same thing.
Sorry. Well, still dealing with a little bit of a dry cough, so.
Look, I get
it.
I get it before the show. Like I was telling him, LeBron fans, they gonna be in for it. I haven't picked the time yet, but I already got it ready for when I come crashing down on them.
You know what me and Cole do each Wednesday.
I know. And trust me, if you haven't been watching Snowman in the Morning when I had to fill in to do up on sexual confession, that was just a small taste of what I got cut. And Snowman would tell you, and Bearman would tell you, when I've been doing shooting lights out, and I do some of these flagrant fouls.
Yes.
I pull no punches.
And you did a fabulous flagrant foul on my Golden State Warriors. And
he goes no holds barred.
And hey, that's how we live. That's how we real sportscasters live.
Mm-hmm.
All right, no holds barred. Speak the truth, even if it's about your team.
Yeah.
Period.
And trust me, Snowman gave me his blessing to talk about the Golden State Warriors.
I mean, I should tell this. I got death threats for calling Dak Prescott overrated. I even been accused of being racist for saying that.
You don't want to know what I've said about Dak Prescott and gotten death threats for.
I mean, look.
Because
my problem with him is the lack of consistency.
Yep.
Yeah, people say, he threw for over 400 yards. Like, yeah, against a bad team. Why can't he do that against a good team? Yeah, so he'll easily beat a weak Washington team. But if he were to play like the Packers back when they were good, or the Rams from a few years ago, or the 49ers, why can't he do that? And at the same time, like all the excuses. I mean,
it's like you said, lack of consistency. They're trying to compare. You follow the Cowboys. You write about the Cowboys. You'll know what I'm about to say is true. They try to compare Dak Prescott to Troy Aikman, and that just ain't right. That's just not right.
Well, what I've noticed is the people who love Dak, the Cowboy fans that love Dak, are the same fans that hated Tony. And this is what I said. Like, the problem is Dak has had everything Tony never had. Tony never had an offensive line to protect him. He never had a good he never had a good defense. He never had the arsenal of weapons that Dak had. Now it's an excuse at the same time because Tony's success is like that too. But the problem at the same time is that Tony was just more unfortunate. But at the same time, I mean, the excuses, no excuse, but still, I would say if you really paid attention to the football that was going on, you would understand what I'm saying.
Dude, Tony Romo had his damn defense. We would be scared right now.
It's like you said. It requires people to pay attention, to actually care, to actually know what's going on. Because when I can tell you, when I started Snowman in the Morning 9 years ago, one of the first teams I criticized was my 49ers when they were in the doldrums. And I get people asking me all the time, "You're from Chicago. Why aren't you a Bears fan?" I can answer that in 2 words: Joe Montana.
I can tell you this, and Snowman would confirm it. I came on the show and I played a certain song from WWE when I came on to talk about.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Anybody remember Kurt Angle?
I played that.
He played the song. Wait a minute. The way he did it was so smooth, though. He had his back turned. Playmaker had his back turned to us, and when we brought him in, when we made the cue and we brought him in, he queued up the song, played it, and then whirled around and started chanting, "We suck." I can definitely confirm that.
And remember, this is live. This is live.
I hope he didn't get copyrighted for playing WWE copyrighted music.
No, he didn't. I can confirm that. And this is live.
This is live. Then when I did this, I was not playing.
Well, it's good to bring up the humor. I mean, as serious as we are, I mean, we can still bring up a little bit of humor. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I mean, I always say the last time the Cowboys were good. I mean, I'm not going to say it on air because it does bring up a bit of a political joke. Well, I don't care. I always say the last time the Cowboys were good, there were at least 2 horny people in the White House.
I didn't know how sexual intercourse, but that.
And I do say at least two because let's be honest, he very likely, who knows how many other interns he was messing with. See, that's what makes those Cowboy fans so angry. I remind them they haven't won. They haven't done anything of relevance since Bill Clinton was in the White House.
And the bad part is you beat me to that joke.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, dude, I could say something similar, but it's a whole lot worse. Now, that one I'm not going to say because that could definitely give me a bit of heat. But look, I mean, when I say the Cowboys have done nothing since, they always bring up the NFC East titles. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's something, but not making to the NFC Championship since 1996, that's nothing. Only like how many playoff wins now? Okay, there was the one in 2009, the one in 2014, and then the one in 2018. That's 3 playoff wins since 1995. 3. That's nothing.
Meanwhile, San Francisco has 4 in 2 years. Just in the last 2 years.
Matter of fact, our whole division has been in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I mean,
our whole division has been in the Super Bowl.
Has more playoff wins since the Cowboys have had since 1995.
Yep.
So when people tell me I'm too hard on the Cowboys, and I always say they've won nothing, I get it. Yeah, they won the NFC East title. I mean, yeah, but still, overall, what have they done overall from an overall perspective? Nothing. So, I mean, seriously, yeah, all those titles, but 3 playoff wins. That's nothing. 3 playoff wins since 1995.
And I've had last year I had Cowboys Nation coming after me when I was working at in the hotel in Columbus, Indiana. I had a whole bunch of Cowboy fans come up to me and saying, we're going to win today, right? I said, no. And they all looked at me in shock and they went, how can you say such a thing? Easy. Dallas can't run the football.
No.
I said, easy. Dallas can't run the football consistently.
I came on here.
Yes, you did.
And Bearman would confirm. I came on ArchRivals with Ricky and Alice. And I said, I'm sorry. Bearman, I'm sorry. Cowboy Nation, I'm sorry. But y'all finna lose. And it's our fault. The reason why y'all finna lose. Did I not, Bearman?
Yeah, you did.
And what happened?
They lost.
Is that a putty tat I see behind you, Bear?
Yeah. The most evil kitty in the world right here. He won't even show his face because he knows it's true.
And
it's true. It's damn true.
What's his name?
His name's Casanova.
Casanova.
I didn't name him that. I adopted him when he was a kid. And he was already named. I felt like taking his name away was improper.
Hello.
Look at that. Does he look evil?
He looks like he wants to scratch somebody's eyes out.
He scratched me earlier. All I was doing was petting him.
Doggone cat.
All right, Snowman.
Yes, sir.
Where I know where I can find you. Where can the people find you?
Snowmaninthemorning.com for my show. You can also follow at Snowman Multimedia on all the social media platforms, and you can catch Snowman in the Morning each day, 8 a.m. Eastern, and you can also catch the Brian Snow Show each weekday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Made a change in time. The new time will come into effect next Monday.
And y'all can see me on his show in the morning with Cole Johnson on Monday and Tuesday too.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm always there.
Yes, sir.
Like I told him earlier, I'm part of the group now.
Oh yeah, your grandfather did, man. That's no problem.
Wrote the name of both shows down.
All right.
I gotta subscribe.
Yeah. Like I said, tomorrow Bearman and I will be back so he can gloat about those horn frogs.
Well, they are in my backyard. I grew up in the outskirts of Fort Worth.
Yeah.
I made the prediction when the playoff came down. Dogs and frogs.
You did, and I gotta take it.
Yep.
And because since I gotta take it, Jim Harbaugh, I'm coming for your throat.
And I will say a score. I will not say a winner. 54-51.
Jesus Christ. And he might be right after what Georgia's looked like.
Listen, TCU hung 51 on Michigan.
Although everybody's mentioning that TCU got away with a targeting foul at the end.
But the game was already in hand.
Look.
The game was already in hand.
The simple fact they did throw a target call is the fact that everybody's surprised because they'll throw a target call on anybody nowadays.
Yeah, they will.
The fact they actually let them play and they let them decide is what shocked everybody.
And all I gotta say is the game was already in hand.
Yeah.
The game was already in hand.
So outside of that, you can catch Bearman doing his baseball talk for the Texas Rangers on Ranking Around the Diamond. Internet LC, the man knows it.
I gotta subscribe to that because I adore baseball. I gotta subscribe to that. Where do I find it?
Well, they're all on Spotify. They're on Apple. I haven't actually done an episode on raking on a while, but my Rangers one is Raking Around the Diamond. My soccer one is Into the Net FC. My pro wrestling one is Ringside Chaos, and my Dallas Cowboys one is just called Cowboys Talk. And
You have
even
a
have
YouTube page?
video game show called Rage Quit.
You have a YouTube page?
Yes, I do actually. All my stuff's on YouTube. A lot of stuff. Just the Bear of Texas.
The Bear of Texas. I will find
my profile picture is kind of me is like basically a GTA drawing, basically.
Okay. I'll find you, and then you return the favor.
Absolutely. I mean, go around, delete likes, comments, because that's what helps the algorithms, y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna go ahead and step out. I want to say thank you, gentlemen. I needed the laugh tonight. I needed the time tonight. I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you coming on. Very nice to meet you, sir.
Very, very nice to meet you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good one.
And I gotta admit, you killed the World Cup there, buddy.
I did what?
You killed the World Cup coverage.
What do you mean I killed it? I did good or I did bad?
You killed it, man. Like I know your team lost, but you was on it. You was on the coverage.
Okay. The fact that France lost, it does hurt, but what bothers me is the lack of respect that France get. Everybody's all over Argentina.
Well,
all right.
You should know how this goes. They love winners. You
know what? Place. Yeah, well, you know what? France is going to be the champ. France will win the title again, one way or the other.
And as for me, for those of you who've been listening, I thank you for listening. To those of you who've been listening to Shooting Lights Out, thank you for that because the new episode came out Monday. Even Bearman listened to it because hey, I talked about his team, the Dallas Mavericks. And also, Ramley Talk will be coming probably Friday this week, final game of the season as we take the travel to the Pacific Northwest, as we mentioned earlier, to take on the Seahawks. So I'll do my Ramley Talk, get that out there. And then after that, I'll see. But that's the Bearman. I am the Playmaker. Thank you for tuning in to ArchRivals Football. We're going to catch y'all later.
You've just experienced ArchRivals Football Season 4. Click that like button and subscribe so you'll be notified when a new Arch episode is live on the air. Check out our sponsor links down below for everyday deals on Fanatics, NFLshop.com, and Points.com. Need merch? Check out www.paintrainpipebomb.threadless.com for quality merch at amazing prices. Tune in again next time for ArchRivals Football.